Sorry about that. Let's see, testing 1, 2, 3. Looking for sound on YouTube. Still not getting anything. All right. Looks like we're good. Okay. So once again, apologies. I'm going to go ahead and quickly go over what I was discussing just for the YouTube folks. Basic concept, weekly chart, very strong, far removed from dynamic moving averages. We are approaching some top end resistance. Daily chart, obviously breaking through all-time highs. We had a potential bull flag into an area of consolidation, which formed a range. We marked off the high and low of that range. We saw our breakout occur, basically an attempt and then a gap up. That gap up not only led to a new all-time high, but it has led to multiple gap up trend days so far in this current week. Because the daily is no longer at horizontal support and resistance, we have to leverage what has been here for a period of time, which is our channel high and channel low. We've had this structure on the chart for quite a while. This structure has remained relevant in terms of marking off major highs and major lows in the market. And we've seen significant pullbacks from the channel high, along with excellent dip buying opportunities at the channel low, albeit with some volatility thrown in between. If we dig into our 4-hour, we see that the structure of this channel is well defined. We have significant highs and lows marked, and then we have a lot of reactions occurring at these high and low points on the channel. While we are approaching the top end of this channel, we are obviously extended from multiple time frames. I would say we're pretty far removed from the normal sort of impulse wave high, pull back to support, impulse wave high, pull back to support. We're definitely in the extended phase of that. And what that essentially means is we don't want to necessarily go long at this point because we're at resistance, we are extended, and if we are looking for a breakout of the channel, a good way to define risk on a breakout would be with a decent pullback to some area of support. At this time, I'd be looking at 400 roughly to be back tested, and that would indicate a pullback and back test of the two previous all-time highs, which are now acting as a slanted area of support. It's a very rough area, but it does coincide with the 20 on the 4-hour time frame. It coincides with a whole number around 400, and it would define the risk if we were to want to get long in this market. For now, though, I would say looking for more fade opportunities in these extended areas, and basically just not putting on too much risk when you're already well above any sort of support. Looking at our 30-day, 1 hour, 30-day time frame, we still have a ton of value sitting at 390. This, of course, is becoming less and less relevant as we start to break through some of these structures that we've had for multiple weeks. The market has consolidated. It has put a ton of balance at 390. And what we are seeing now is the move away from value. This is the normal operation of the market, that market likes to find balance and then it likes to move away from balance, albeit on new catalysts or simply some sort of technical change in the structure. So with 390 as our VPOC, we can see how extended we are. We are above the VA high, and we don't have a ton of support up here in the case that the market wants to pull back. This is why, from a risk reward perspective, it is not ideal to necessarily go long at this time because we are at resistance. The potential for a pullback is relatively high, and we know that that pullback can provide a much more clear risk to reward opportunity, albeit above value. So from here, we see a couple of shelves of value being placed. This is our volume profile showing us where the market has done some amount of consolidation. We see that 400 has a nice little shelf we can use. And then we see that some of the pre-market action is building another shelf closer to 406 to 407. Because of that, a pullback would bring us into a gap, and that gap is very hard to bounce from. It's hard to make a V bottom or any sort of recovery from until we get back to an area of value, which would be 400. So some things to keep in mind intraday. If we stay up here, we can easily consolidate. Obviously, a breakout would be a pretty extended breakout. So maybe the first one may fail, or it may take a couple of attempts. But a pullback is also likely to fall through this gap. And therefore, hitting 400 would be sort of a fade play tactic from resistance to a previous area of support. Let's see, Jason. Yeah, I can speak to that in just a moment. Okay, looking at our Qs, I would say that the Qs have had some of the structural breakouts that we were anticipating. We were looking for the signal for essentially tech to start to wake up, and we saw some early signs of that last week, leading into some pretty strong trending action Thursday, Friday, and now Monday. And once again, another extended sort of trending day to the upside. I've gone ahead and removed some of the lower support zones, some of the lower lines of support and dynamic support. We're far removed from that, so we don't have to concern ourselves with it at this time. Some things to keep in mind on the daily and on the weekly, and I'll quickly go through this. Weekly, we saw that the 20 did hold. So from the perspective of the weekly, we just pulled back to the 20. We held for a couple of weeks, we consolidated, and now we're starting to break higher. One of the challenges, though, is that this market has been so strong over the past year that our daily support line, the thing that was holding as major support before we broke through it, is now above us, and it's sitting as a possible resistance point. So we are, kind of curling through this area. We had a pretty deep pullback, curling back up, and we're starting to see this as an area that may be like a nice top for us to target, both on the bullish breakout and also for a fade play. So we can use that area twice to take profit and to potentially find a good short in this market. On the daily, we see that we broke through what was more of the bull flag structure. I would say the SPY had a relatively flat range. So it was simply just, are we going to break above or below? The Qs have more of that pull into consolidation while price is moving slightly lower, and then a breakout. And this is kind of your typical flag pattern, very, very common pattern overall that a lot of people use. We saw the breakout higher. We saw a move from the 310 area all the way to 325 in a very short amount of time. We actually made a significant gap in doing so. This showed that there was a lot of energy built into the tech sector, and once that energy resolved itself by moving away from value, it was fairly explosive. Shorts were covering and longs were starting to get back in, and that adds to the pressure to the upside, which is great. You'll see that on the 4-hour, very few pullbacks, and any sort of red candle is very stunted. There's not a significant price pullback. Overall, we're sitting above 20, 50, and 200. The 20 is trying to catch up with price at this point. And some notable breakouts. We saw the breakout of 325. This was the line in the sand on the daily. We knew that this range was important. We've had multiple reactions here at 325. And we also cleared the 200 on the 4-hour without any problem. That occurred last week. So that breakout was nice to see for the start of this momentum move. Some other notable things, you have to see it on the daily. There was a gap on the daily chart from here to here. And I've gone ahead and marked those two lines. It's I would say a relatively small gap, but it is relevant. We did fill that gap. And one thing that's interesting is typically when you fill a gap, depending on how extended you are when you go to fill it, a good trade setup is the reversal through the gap. So obviously you can trade into the gap and you sort of expect it all to be filled. But when you finish filling the gap, you play the opposite side as well. And this is mainly because as you're moving away from value to fill a gap, the market will sort of fly through that low value zone relatively quickly. It can be a very quick trade intraday or even just a couple of days. But once you fill it, the return to value can be just as fast. It acts as basically an inflection point, and you can come back to where you came from in the same fashion as you did to fill the gap. What we haven't seen in the Qs yet is the return. So what I'm looking at here is we actually closed above the gap, which is a very bullish sign indicating that market participants, they wanted to fill this structure, but they also wanted to go higher. And this is why I'm kind of targeting this upper area, this daily uptrend support as a final target for the Qs, at which point we'll see if they're going to just kind of consolidate around this level or will they have a major inflection. I think in hindsight, it's easy to see some of the structure, but we can also simply use the fact that we came from a range of about 16 to 17 points. So the breakout should have roughly that range. And that can also be used where we sort of extend this pole to roughly the same length. And that's a very typical target for a bull flag or a bear flag. We double up on the pole for the projected target. So there's a lot of good structure in the Qs. I wanted to bring people's attention to it if you're not using it intraday or even for swing, mostly because it was quiet for a period of time, and yet we stayed present of what it was doing so that when it broke out, we knew that the opportunity could be there and we could see multiple breakthroughs of levels, gaps, and at this point now a daily uptrend resistance, which we're trying to come back and test. So Qs are looking great overall. I really wanted to cover that in detail. 30-day 1 hour, let's look where value is sitting. The core value still sits where we broke out from. That's not a surprise, very similar to the SPY. The low value up here is structurally a little bit stronger than the SPY because we don't have a significant gap. But I would be careful if we do pull back. There is a lot of low value zones in this gap, and you just don't want to necessarily buy a dip inside of a gap. You kind of like the gap to come back all the way through, and then you'll kind of see if that first entry point is the low or the high of the gap, depending on which direction you're coming from. So a lot of gap rules are in play here, both from the volume profile perspective and also from the daily chart. You don't necessarily want to buy those dips in the gap, but it is a very bullish chart. So you are looking for support bounces at this time. Okay. And then finally, let's look at our IWM. I'm going to quickly go through this just to give myself a little time at the end here. Let me go to the weekly. All right, so I've got lines everywhere. Let me delete a few just to get rid of some clutter. Okay. Weekly chart, pull back to the 20. We've seen this double bottom take hold. The IWM is notably not at all-time highs, similar to the Qs. And we do have this major level that we have yet to clear. So while it is good to see multiple index products all going for higher prices, some are stronger than others. I would say that the SPY has actually proven itself to be one of the stronger indices in the breakout, but the Qs have had a really nice pattern-based structure to trade against. The IWM, while we are keeping it on watch, is a little bit harder to, I would say, justify both bullish or bearish. We've seen some good bounces off of this double bottom. We did take advantage of that in things like biotech, and over the course of last week, just keeping this on watch. We also see that this retracement, this downtrend sort of resistance zone did break bullish, and that allowed for IWM to reclaim the 20 and the 50 on the daily. So we're getting that similar gap up trend day, multiple trend days in a row. People are accelerating into the buying as shorts are covering, because all of the indices are sort of moving in the same direction. There's a lot less, I would say, disjointed chop between the three. But 4 hour, we see that we still have some things to worry about as far as resistance. We had a notable pullback from this zone of resistance, 227.50. I've left it on the chart because it's still acting as you would expect, where you're having, I would say, some sort of notable reaction across multiple time frames. It's not perfect per se, but it is an area to watch. It's very similar to 325 in the Qs, which we did break from. So we did get a pullback here yesterday. We pulled down to the 200, to the 20 on the 4 hour chart. The 200 has been somewhat reactive in the past. I would say watch price action a little bit more here. We don't have something as clear cut as we do in other indices. Yeah, and on the daily chart, we have this channel low, which I've only got the channel low here because it's we're not close enough to the channel high for it to matter. If I extend this out, you'll see the reactions here down at this point, this candle, this reaction, and then this final reaction before we broke through and did a false breakdown. Similar to the Qs, I think this could be a final target for this breakout. And that's not to say that we won't go higher over time, but we have to respect the fact that if you consolidate and you form a range, typically range rules will dictate sort of a doubling of the range on a breakout or a breakdown. From there, there's less of pattern and structure to leverage as far as projecting targets. You're ultimately looking back in history and seeing, is there reactionary points in the price action that we can look to target, and are market participants willing to drive the price there? So while we haven't cleared some horizontal resistance, if we see strength across the board as we have been the past couple of days, this could be that final target. The Qs are obviously a little better for this pattern-based structure, but the IWM has a very similar outlook. And obviously, if things get weak, it kind of looks as if this one could be the weaker of the indices. It's actually starting to shift quite a bit. And let's see where value is. We're sitting right around 220 on the 30-day perspective. We had our double bottom. We definitely want to hold above this double bottom for the foreseeable future. Bulls obviously do not want to lose this area at any point. And if I just pull it back to, oh, this is fine. I was trying to see more of the price reactions, but overall, we're still looking at 227.50. We definitely have some smaller scale trend lines to look at. You know, so pull back to value could be a buying opportunity for a more upside trend. Okay, so market's looking relatively strong is sort of the summary here. Yesterday, there was some notable correlation in the market, so I wanted to call that out. In the past, we've seen certain indices and certain sectors be strong while others are weak. And what's happening there is you get sort of a disconnected or non-correlated amount of buying and selling, which can lead to consolidation, or it can lead to one day of upside and then the next day sort of giving it all back. So it led to chop. People were having trouble swing trading some of that chop, not knowing exactly where the bottom and the tops are. There's a lot of indecision across multiple sectors. And yesterday, we did see some overall correlation. I look at the SPY, and I pull up just a simple heat map of the SPY 100. And even I'll even do the 500 because it's much more clear with which sectors were strong and weak. There's a lot of just green on this heat map. We saw communications be really strong. Things like Google are standing out to me now. They're pretty much breaking through all-time highs after multiple weeks of consolidation. Very choppy daily chart. We're seeing Facebook also continue its bullish breakout. Microsoft and Apple are starting to wake up. If y'all have traded them in the past couple of days, y'all have probably been very satisfied with the overall trending structure in some of the big tech names. And even things like Tesla, while it continues to have gap up days met with some selling, it still remains relatively strong. It is moving higher, and although we are seeing some resistance and some willingness to sell, we are not pulling back all the way down to 600 yet. So a lot of our big market cap names are good. They're strong. They're making the SPY break out all-time highs. They're keeping the Qs healthy. The only thing that was not like that yesterday was energy. So energy had a mostly bearish sort of day. Most of our big energy names were down 1 to 2% overall, with some exceeding that up into the 4 or 5% down day. We also had a little bit of weakness in real estate, and then there are some notable communication names that are still weak, and this is from some of the hedge fund news that people have been hearing about with Archegos, I believe is the name. That is continuing. There's still weakness there, as it appears as if the selling is not quite done. What I want to make people aware of is that when you have this correlated state where, let's say 90 out of 100 of the S&P 100 stocks are going higher, it is, one, very hard to fight intraday. You don't want to short into those kind of days because everything is going against you. It's hard to fade it. Your downside opportunity is very limited. And most of the time, even if you do find the top, you won't get that pullback to value. It'll actually stay kind of elevated intraday. Another thing, when this happens, the reason it's happening is because the market products, the things that control the, or the things that are tradable within the SPX index, things like ES futures, SP futures, SPX options, SPY options, and the SPY itself, people are buying those types of products, and it is essentially carrying the entire market higher. There's no one standout sector. There's no rotation. There's no, I would say just like, there's nothing really that's different than the other. Everything is kind of moving in the same pattern. And some things are stronger, some things are weaker. Typically, higher market caps tend to be outperforming in those scenarios because of their correlated state to the market. When we see this, however, it is important to note that this can occur against us in the same way that it occurred to get us up to where we are. So intraday, one thing you can do is to look and see, are we seeing a lot of stocks moving in the same direction? 90 stocks are up, 10 are down. That's pretty correlated. And then similarly, are we seeing a day where the opposite is occurring? Today could be one of those days where the market is kind of flat right now. Energy is up, which is the opposite from yesterday, and everything else hasn't really shown us directionality yet. So just keep in mind as we head to resistance on the SPY channel, the same thing that brought us here can easily pull us back. And that can offer some intraday opportunities. You can fade those sorts of scenarios, or you can just find some really great shorts, across different candidate stocks. So with that said, that's my time. I'm going to go ahead and shift over to Carlos and Norm with the pre-market prep. Hope y'all had a great Monday trading session. Once again, I was sad to not be able to speak to y'all, but I'm glad to be back and look forward to more throughout the week, more opportunities as we break through all-time highs. So thanks, everyone. Off to Carlos and Norm with pre-market prep.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market Prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How are you today, brother?
Good morning, buddy. I'm doing well. Hopefully you are too. I'm not seeing your screen in the room. Is it just
Yeah.
me or are others not seeing it?
Let's see here.
You're on YouTube,
All right. So YouTube is
but we
good.
don't have the screen shared up. Yep, now you're good. All
Okay.
right.
Is it showing there? Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. Excellent, guys. All right. As usual, guys, let's give Jared a big thumbs up over on YouTube, and you could give here in our chat room as well. We
Hit that
definitely
like button.
appreciate all the work he's doing and putting together there. So thank you for that.
And
guys, let's get
subscribe.
yes,
Subscribe so you get the alert.
subscribe.
Turn the notifications on. Get the alert when Jared comes on in the morning. In case you sleep in, that's your backup alarm.
Exactly. All right, guys, let's get into it. Yesterday, we had a pretty decent watch list. It wasn't looking great out of the gates when we were putting it together, but it turned out pretty nice. Starting here with American Airlines, which was not so great. Let's go over here. American Airlines. This was yesterday's action. Again, I had this one on here, but again, really did not trade very well. Very choppy, as you can see here. We had EBON here, which also was a beautiful short, guys. Look at this breakdown here, and just never look back. Now here it gets a little bit. I want to say kind of stalls a little bit. It takes a while for the next leg to happen. But again, it was a short the entire day. If you got a quick entry early on, and you're patient and you want to hang around for this thing to drop, you can, because it never comes back and tests your entry, right? If you had anything close to the VWAP or these moving averages. So, oh, you just see the daily. I'm sorry. Let me change that screen. Here we go. I was looking at my other screen, which is not showing to you guys. So here it is. There it is, EBON. So again, beautiful drop here and a beautiful continuation towards the bottom. CHPT, this one was not great. It's just kind of flattened out, didn't do much, very choppy, weird action, and then the incredible breakdown here. But again, after this, it was not something that was on my radar anymore. Tesla was okay, also had a beautiful drop. It does get very choppy here, guys. Again, it was not an easy day yesterday. It was definitely not an easy day. Later in the day, though, 1 p.m. here, this thing takes off nicely. So beautiful bounce here, did find a bottom, and just look at the comeback there as well. Apple, on the other hand, was just amazing. We've been talking about Apple breaking out of this range. Let's look at the daily quickly, because it's something that we talked about just yesterday and the day before, about it breaking this range and possibly going higher. And it did just that yesterday in a very, very good fashion with some very clean trading. So if you're watching Apple, you had a nice breakout. Look at this level we had here, 124. You do get a fake out here. You get some selling going on, which happens when a stock is potentially up a little bit. Get some profit taken, and then just look at the nice little pop here above the 124 and the beautiful continuation. So again, Apple trading very, very clean yesterday at the market open. After that, again, it had such a nice pop that it gets a little hard to continue, trending higher here. So after that, around 1 o'clock, just kind of go sideways a little bit. But again, it had a beautiful open yesterday morning. Here's NEO. NEO was a nice drop as well. It took some time to get going. They give you a little fake out here, just kind of flirted with the VWAP a little bit. But once it lost this 40.16 level, it became a really nice short. Does come back up to test the VWAP and this level again. And then just look at the beautiful drop again, losing the low of the day that time here, and then continue. So you got a pretty nice drop out of NEO as well. And just like Tesla, around 1 o'clock, you got this reversal on here on NEO as well. Again, you have to be very patient, guys. This thing, it looks fast now, so we're going through it, but this took some time, and the volume was not great. The volume was just not there, so it definitely had to be patient with it. NCLH was not great at all, but the trade that a lot of us took yesterday, and thank you for what's his name, Brian, for calling this out, was an NNOX, guys. This was the trade that we took, and man, what a fun time it was. Just look at the beautiful drop down here. Now, he actually called it up here. I didn't take it to a brown here. I was waiting for a pullback that actually really never came. And then just look at the drop after that. This thing just flushed and continued. I got out way too early right in this area, thinking it was going to squeeze back up. Nope, it just continues to drop almost a dollar or two more. So again, really, really nice call by Brian in our chat room yesterday on this one. Ahmed, you're having issues with my mic. Can you guys hear me okay, or is it just something going on? I can check in later when we have a little bit of a break. Sounds choppy. Okay, we'll double check that in a second. All right, so that's what we had yesterday, guys. Again, pretty decent day. There was some chop. You had to be watching the right stocks like Apple. NEO has some good Spurs moments. NNOX was nice as well. So again, it really depends on what you were watching yesterday as far as having a good opportunities come up. So Norm, let's go over to the SPY and I'll check on this mic in the meantime.
Yeah, man. We've been talking about it for a while. The consolidation we were in, the nice little pattern on the SPY daily we had. Yesterday we started breaking out a little bit before that, and then yesterday was the true it followed through. Nice day. So we're sitting here at all-time highs. Not surprised. Things were off just a little bit this morning. We're just slightly below yesterday's close on the SPY, and just above on the Qs. As far as economic data, we just had the IMF World Economic Outlook come out. I haven't seen anything about that yet. We did seem to get a little bit of pop in both of the indexes on that, and then job openings 10 a.m. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
All right, absolutely. All right, guys. Looks like YouTube sounds good. Is it still bad? If it is, I'm gonna refresh the browser and come back in. So over in our chat room, let us know how it sounds. Still sounds bad. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna refresh. Norm, do you want to hit the reset audio bridge in the meantime, and I'll refresh my
Yep,
browser? Perfect.
you got it,
Excellent.
buddy. On YouTube, you guys are all normal. You hear everything the same, but the chat room is a little bit off. So we'll be right back.
All right, so we are back in. Let's share our screen over here, and hopefully that takes care of that. All right, perfect. Hopefully you guys can hear me a lot better now. Yes. Okay, so that's the trick. Okay, excellent. All right, guys, so let's get to it. Let's remove what we had on our list here yesterday. Let's make some rows. And we will get started on what we have here today. So it's funny. Look at our list today. Let me make sure it's good. Live. Okay, excellent. Live as well. Good. Not bad. I mean, we haven't seen something like this in quite some time, man. We can actually go through this entire list today. I'm shocked. This is very, very good.
I feel like we have the morning off, buddy.
Exactly. Yeah, it really does. So starting with our gapping up list this morning, CJ, 2.1 million shares.
Nature is healing.
Yes. This is a low flow stock, guys. And right now it's up 50%. So looking pretty good this morning. 1.1 million shares traded. So definitely it's got some volume. Yeah, this could be interesting, guys. I like the way the pre-market is forming right now. It is a low flow stock that was sitting around $10, now up at 14. No, do they have a
2 million? Yeah, 2 million shares float. You want to guess what the catalyst is? It's Chinese internet broadcasting company. Want to guess? Fungus?
I was gonna say
NFT. Yeah.
There you go. All right, so that's our NFT of the day, guys. 1.1 million shares traded so far. Very active, very good pre-market action on our fungus type stocks over here. G-Box, they are 14 million shares float, and where they go? Okay, here they are. They are up 11%, but not looking good at all, guys. The volume is just not there. Only 109,000 shares traded. So they got a nice pop, but again, they really have nothing else going for them right now. So not interested in that. Recent IPO as well. Just opened up, looks like in February. So we'll give that a little bit of room right now. We'll leave that alone for now. Here's RMO, and RMO right now is up 11.6, 1.9 million shares traded. Wow, look at the daily on this one here. 89 million shares flow. Been getting hammered the start of this year. And down at 896. Got a little pop this morning. Pre-market action is not clean. You can tell here that this action is not great. If you compare this to like a CJ where you got a nice like kind of like ABCD pattern being formed, that's nice. Here, this 1.9 is not trading all that clean. And that tends to happen with stocks that are higher flow like this one, 89 million, and they're lower price, right? You don't get that great movement like that. So I'm not sure what the news is on this one, Norm.
Yeah, they've got a pretty substantial catalyst. They have entered into an agreement with another company as partners to build electric batteries, I believe it is, for Peterbilt trucks. So pretty substantial catalyst for them.
Yeah, so that's good. Anything with this EV situation and batteries and for trucks too, that's nice. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on them, guys. Up 11.5 right now. Wish the pre-market was a little bit better. We definitely will put this one on our list today. PSAC, this one is up 10.6, 356,000 shares traded. Not the best daily, as you can see here. Not clean at all. Very choppy. Looks like it gaps up for most of the part here, and it just sells down. So it doesn't look great. Right now, pre-market action also not looking great with this 357,000 shares traded. Norm, unless there's any type of great catalyst on this one, I don't think it's something we can I don't see anything great about it at the moment.
It's a SPAC that's already it's post announcement on their merger, but that's not completed yet. So,
Hmm.
it's moving on some of the SPAC stuff. On some of the news involving that. So,
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah,
but
not
it's all right.
not
Not
great, right?
great.
It's all right. It's not great, but you know what? We'll put it on here. We'll come back to it. BWEN. This one here is not looking great. Pre-market is very spotty right now. 6.7, 124 dollars. I'm gonna skip on this, guys. This doesn't look great right now. If it gets better, we can look at it. It is also 15
Average
million.
volume's only about 830,000
Yeah.
shares a day as well.
Right, that's horrible. Especially something sitting at 15 million. Again, just not great there. ACY, we saw this yesterday. What did it actually
Man,
do? Uh,
popped up hard and then sold off most of the
yeah,
day.
and it was not a clean. Look at this. It halted several times in here. Just look at this choppiness. The people getting
Yeah, it
trapped
was
in
way
here.
on the daily, man.
Yeah, yeah, this is not good, guys. So I'm not gonna be watching that. CEO, this one's 65 million. This one is up 3.5, 100,000 shares traded. Not a great pre-market action. Doesn't look great right now, guys. I don't like the daily. Has one day here with about 324 million. Then after that, I'm not sure how much is down here, but again, it just doesn't look good. So let's skip on that. BP, we know is a foreign stock. They're up today 3%. I've seen some of you guys trade this stock. So again, if this is if this is part of your style of trading, definitely look at it. It's up 3% this morning, 381. But typically not something that I like to day trade. Here is Snap. Snap this morning up 2.5.
They do. I
Uh,
will say, BP
yeah.
usually just kind of it usually trades along with oil. This morning, it does have its own catalyst about
Oh.
hitting some debt reduction targets and
Hmm.
such early. So, amongst other things, so it very well could be in play. I try to stay away from
Hmm.
uh,
You know what?
British companies trading.
Yeah.
Usually the foreign stuff doesn't trade very well,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. That
they're
call
gonna,
is very
they've
interesting.
got buybacks coming back. So yeah, I mean, it could be in play.
Yeah.
I think we might find some other things that trade better though.
Yeah. Since we have
It's
such a
just
light
not my
list,
bag, baby.
yeah, since we have such a light list from our gapping up, we'll put it on here as a possible. See what comes out of that. Here is Snap, guys. Is there any news on Snap? Anything going on? They're up to 2.4, but the volume is not there though. Only 312,000. And we know Snap can really get going in the pre-market. So I'm not seeing that here. Put it as a possible just in case there is something. Mara right now. What do we have
They
going
got
on?
Snap got an upgrade this morning. It's
Okay.
what's yeah.
All right, well, we'll see if that upgrade means anything for them today. Again, the volume is still very light for Snap. These guys are by now they're hitting, a million plus easily if they're going to be very active. Now, at the market open, that could change, right? That volume can definitely come in a Snap. Here's Mara. Mara this morning, they're up 2.3, 481,000 shares traded. Their pre-market action does look pretty good. Look at their last couple of days here, guys. It's just been crushing it yesterday as well. Man, how come this thing did not hit our scanners? But look at yesterday. Yesterday just took off here. So, and it had a couple of days like this last week as well. I remember a few guys traded this here also. So yeah, Mara has some potential here. I just don't know. They're very extended on the daily. I don't know how much room they have to keep this up here. So, but definitely worth taking a look at later down the line. So we'll look at Mara. Yell is not looking no good here. What is this? Pop to 32.50 and then back down to that's probably got to be some block trades, I will assume. Then down to 975. Yeah, that's not good. Let's skip on that. All right, let's see what's gapping down, guys. UAVS again typically doesn't trade very well, so I'm gonna skip on this one. Ebon this morning dropping some more. Man, this thing is just getting killed. Let's take a look at that one. They're already moving nicely. 1.5 million shares traded. 700 just in this 5-minute candle that's being built right now. So again, they got some action going on there. Let's take a look at that. IC,
It's
no,
trash.
no, that's no good. And OVX, man, this was great yesterday, but typically this stock doesn't trade very well. This might just be coming back down to its normal trading range and might not be really active today. Some people might have this for a possible second day play here. I just don't see it because now you have all the support happening here. It might just chop around. So I'm going to skip on that one today. If it hits a scan, we'll look at it. Viacom is getting hit here. We got something going on with these companies today.
Yeah, Credit Suisse came out and said that they're anticipating a roughly just shy of $5 billion loss from the trading debacle that started the whole slide on this. So
Wow.
I think it's got some people worried that the damage might be a little bit more than they anticipate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, this is it's a very big slide as you can see here. So guys, this one's definitely in play. There's some other ones as well. What are they? VIPS is here. I think TME was another one, right? Um,
Yep.
Again, they're difficult to trade. I know we had one good trade that first day on Viacom. The ones after that were not as great. They're very choppy, and the spread is massive at times. So be very careful with that. We'll keep that one on there. CAN, we had some pretty. I had some pretty good days on CAN. I know it's a tough stock to trade. So hopefully it gets good. We'll put it on here. 273 up, down 3.4. Viacom is good. VIPS doesn't have great volume right now, but based on that news, these things are going to be in play today. MT is a foreign stock. They're down today 2.3, but again, these foreign stocks like BP are not great. And SAP is a stock that's just so difficult to intraday trade. It is not easy at all. Very, very choppy. Nice big pop yesterday. Happened, looks like some in the morning, and then later, right before the close, in 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes before the close. Look at this pop here, just insane. So they got some good stuff going on, looks like. But again, they're down 2.1 now. Even though they're down 2%, guys, this stock is very strong because look at the pop they had yesterday. So don't be short bias or weak bias on the stock that just did this yesterday. It's only down 2%. But again, very, very tough to intraday trade. I don't like the price action, so I'm not going to keep this one on deck today. All right, guys, let's start with you, Norm. What do you like this morning?
Do you look at PHUN? I'm not going to trade it at $2, but it is interesting.
PHUN. I saw some people in the chat throwing that out as well. PHUN up 25%, 9.8 million. What's the float on this? PHUN
40-ish.
All right, so not bad. All right, cool. Any catalysts on this that we're aware of, or just
Some blockchain, Bitcoin stuff.
okay? All right, cool. Let's put that on there, guys. Again, looking pretty good right now. Got some good volume. Typically, I'm just like you, Norm. I probably will not trade this, but we'll see what comes out of it.
Yeah, I just the amount of shares you have to take on that runs up your commission when you're trading on a per share basis, for one, and secondly, I just don't have the feel for things down there. Percentage wise, they move the same, but
right.
I mean, we did trade. You and I did trade a great one when they had a short squeeze. I can't remember how long. What was that, last summer?
Which one?
Who was it? It's the drug maker that OxyContin stuff. Mallinckrodt. Mallinckrodt. We did trade that. That was a good trade, but shy of some catalyst like that.
Yeah. Agree 100%. Let's start with Dan. INTC. Let's take a look there. What's going on? INTC this morning. They are, their daily looks good. Their daily chart, though, their daily setup right now looks great for a possible breakout. Has been very choppy in here. Again, if they can break out of this, could be nice. But man, their volume right now is non-existent at this point. So just want to be careful with this one. They need to get the volume. They had a great day yesterday. Let's see how that traded. It's kind of just grind higher, right? A couple of pops here. And again, this is not great. The intraday action is very low volume, as you can see here. But it did grind higher. So again, I'm just not sure on this one. I'll put it on here, but I probably won't keep it. Let's see here. SAP. Yeah, SAP, guys, is just a brutal stock to intraday trade. Definitely in play today. Obviously, after what it did yesterday here, they must have some kind of news, as you see here.
When we talk about a foreign stock being terrible, SAP is the epitome of that.
Yes. It's funny. Many people don't think SAP is a foreign stock because it's such a well-known company here in the U.S. for people that work in operations and accounting and all that stuff. But yeah, they are foreign. And look at this data.
Yeah, it's German.
It's not great. So MUDS, what do we have here? MUDS, you got a pop very early on this morning, 8.1 this morning, 5.9 million shares traded so far. I don't like the pre-market action on this. I think it looks very, very choppy at the moment. What's the float on this? I'm not even getting the float on this thing here on the
That's a
trade ideas.
SPAC.
It's a SPAC. Okay. Yeah, I'm just not liking what I'm seeing here for the way I like to trade. So I'm gonna keep that one off for now, guys. Did you mean
30-ish million, 31, I believe,
yeah.
is the float on it. This tops trading cards is going public through this.
Oh, okay, okay. So we'll see, guys. Again, it could be something. It could trade well, but for the most part, the way I like to trade, I want to stick with something a little bit different. Carry this morning, they're up 12%. Looks, I don't want to say it looks like a buy because it doesn't really have the volume. There again, they have a nice big pop here, but the volume is missing on this one for this pre-market action. Yesterday, they had a good day as well. Doesn't look. This is not a great trading day, by the way. Intraday trade. Look at this here. I can imagine the spread was not pretty here, and you have to sit through this waiting for volume to come in so you can get a move. So yeah, that's not what I like to do when I'm trading. So just be careful with that. They got a nice big pop today. But again, just not seeing no volume here at the moment. Let's head on down BTX. BTX, what do we got going on? No good here. Up 71%, but just look at the action you're getting. You're trading 1.8 million shares, but look how you're moving here. You're moving sideways. The daily's a mess as well. This could be this is a time bomb right here. So just be careful. That's a time bomb waiting to happen. How do you read the price action or something like that? You don't even have a daily you can go by. SN and DL is not something I ever want to look at. This is hurting my eyes. This is not good. All right, let's look at what we have here. Microsoft. Okay, Microsoft been so strong, and Andy was talking about that yesterday as well. Big day for them yesterday, big day for them the day before, and today they're just sitting shy, a little bit below their previous day close now. Again, very tough stock to trade, but yesterday had a very beautiful open, just popped up nicely. Could be a possible continuation today. We'll put it on here, Microsoft. We'll see what we can get out of that. Snap we have, that's good. INTC we looked at. We could take a look at Facebook, what's going on there. Also, big day for Facebook as well. Very similar to what Microsoft did, just kind of hanging out here, seeing for a possible continuation. We could put Facebook here as a possible. CCL, let's take a look there. No, I don't think the travel companies are really in play right now. They popped up yesterday. They didn't do a whole lot, though. They didn't trade well, and I expect the same today. So I just don't think they're really in play at the moment. Neo, what is Neo up to? Neo down 1.2. Let's get rid of some of these levels here. A 1.2 million shares traded right now. Yeah, Neo could be good, guys. We'll see. It's getting to an area where it has bounced from before quite a bit and quite aggressive. So we'll see if it can do that here. Heading down, carry. Looked at BTX is dead to me. Yes, it is. Neo, okay, that's good. Facebook, yeah, Facebook all-time highs. We have that. That's nice. Neo, we looked at SOS, Facebook. Okay, good, guys. All right, cool. All right, we took care of some things there. Let's take a quick look into our YouTube chat. What do you guys like this morning? Apple, yeah, Apple is definitely one to have in play, guys. Apple is real nice. Great day yesterday. Possible continuation today is very clean. Well, hopefully starts getting very clean. It's been so choppy in here. Hopefully breaking out of this mess around 124. We did that yesterday. Let's hope that it continues and we have some levels here we can hit. We haven't been up here in some time. At least the last time we tried to get up here, 127, we crashed back down. So hopefully
You're getting right into that 50-day moving average, which is sitting 127.50-ish.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So
right
that might cap the upside, at least for a time being. I would anticipate it probably get up there and maybe, during the if it gets up there during the day to test that, retest it before it actually makes its way through.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So again, great day yesterday, very clean. Let's see what we can get out of Apple. Really like that one. Neo, we have Mara is nice. Yeah, Mara we have on here, right? Did we put on? Yeah, Mara is nice. They had a couple of really good days here, so that's nice. Snap, we have on here. PHUN we looked at. BTX we looked. All right, so we're throwing out the same thing. So we're all looking at the same stocks, which is good.
I do see on Apple too. It's a little bit concerning as well that it looks like since we've come on the show, came out Morgan Stanley. They kept their overweight rating on Apple, but they've lowered the price target to 156. So that doesn't often give a lot of confidence to things.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
We'll see.
Yeah. That's very interesting. See how that plays out. All right, so we got some other ones, guys. We got time for a few more. HD, and then we'll look at Nvidia next. Man, look at HD. Wow. Beginning of March, just tearing it up here, guys. from 250 to 315. Again, I don't see anything happening here. They just been ripping here on the daily as a great swing trading type stock. But right now, I don't see how you add this to your list. Just the volume is not there. It doesn't trade well intraday. Doesn't get a whole lot of volume either. You look down here on their best days, they're getting 14 million the last 2 months. So again, it's a different animal to trade this one. So be very careful with that one. And again, it all depends on your style. If you like to, sit here and wait around for it, by all means, there's nothing wrong with that. But that is definitely not my style. I want things to move quickly, fast in my direction, and move on to the next thing. Nvidia pretty quiet right now. A couple of nice string of days here, green up to the upside, hitting an area of hitting a nice area of resistance right now. Actually, Nvidia could be our sleeper for today. We'll put Nvidia here. We know the Qs in the tech sector is kind of coming back up a little bit. Nvidia could be nice if we can break out of this. But again, right now, volume is just not there. All right, guys, let's stop here. Let's go over to our community events, and we'll come back and fine tune this list.
All right, tonight, 8 p.m., you've got Luke Jacoby from Benzinga. He's going to be talking about news and how to filter out the meaningless from the meaningful and act upon it. All right, tomorrow night, 8 p.m., Dr. Reed, he's going to be talking about game theory, how it works and applies to trading. So check that one out. And also next week, 8 p.m., you're going to have Mike talking about reestablishing a positive mindset after losing streak. Kind of goes to what we talked about Mindful Monday yesterday, positive self-talk and all that. Anybody that's ever traded for any amount of time has gone through a losing streak, and they can be brutal psychologically, and it can feed upon itself and make things worse. So that'll be a very interesting topic coming out of Mike next week. All right. If you want to participate in the member trade of the day, trade of the week, take a screenshot of your best trade of the day. It should obviously have entries and exits so we can see the trade, mark it up, and post it on Twitter. With any commentary you can add, tag at Bearable Traders, at MikeB_BBT, and at NormBBT. Also use the hashtags BBT Family, Day Trading, and Stock Market. We'll announce a winner every afternoon on Twitter. And then we take all those winners from the week and the trades of the day. Those are eligible for trade of the week. We vote over the weekend, and we'll announce that Monday on Twitter. If you are watching us on YouTube, haven't been in the chat, use the promo code PREMARKET24. It'll get you a discount off the intro membership, which is 7 calendar days, 5 trading days. Does not auto-renew, does not sign you up for anything else after it ends. You have to make that decision. We're not going to just sneak a bill on you. Also gives you access to the onboarding and technology classes that are live every Monday night at 8 p.m., starting at 8 p.m. Man. Also, it's not on here, but we do have our new promo, 40% off the Elite annual memberships. Promo code for that is SPRING40, SPRING40.
Excellent. I was just going to say, man, I hate that auto sign-up stuff. You do a trial, and next thing you know, the next month, forget about it. You get the bill. Then you try to cancel, you can't get a hold of anybody. I mean,
we were actually talking to somebody in a meeting about that yesterday or day before. Why, you guys auto sign up people after the trial, right? No. Well, that's got to be a mistake. You should do that. You'll get more conversions. Well, no kidding. We get more conversions, but we also make a lot of people angry.
Yeah.
We try not to do that. Yeah. So anyway.
Unreal. All right, guys, let's get to it. I'm sure it's a great revenue stream for people that want to be scumbags, but whatever. All right, let's get to it, guys. RMO here. Why do we keep this one? This one it has the catalyst. Yes, it has a good catalyst, so we'll see what happens there. Mara right now looking really good. I really like this pre-market action, so that's good. EBON also continues to drop here, now down to 10% with some amazing volume. Got some good levels we're going to find here towards the bottom. Viacom looks interesting. Just, you know what? I'm going to move it down because I know it can be difficult to trade today. If we have time, we'll do levels for it. But I'm not going to have it on my main list. I just don't see myself trading that one the way it's been the last couple of days before that first big 1 day, second day drop. Here's NEO. I think NEO is good today. Apple, if we can, like you said, depending on how this news breaks out in this with Morgan Stanley, we can see how this thing is going to react. And then on our secondary list, we have Viacom, we have Microsoft, CAN. This one could be okay. We have BP. Let me see if we can find one that we can move up. Snap. Okay, here we go. Snap is starting to look very interesting. We'll bring up Snap here into our main list, and I think that will make our list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is more than enough. Okay, perfect. All right, so RMO guys, again, pre-market action is not looking all that exciting, but they have a very, very big catalyst this morning about EV stuff. So been batteries, so I definitely want to keep an eye on them. 918 is the high of the pre-market, and we have the bottom of this, the top of this gap up, right? Gap down, excuse me, at 1013. So right on here, we got a nice level we can hit. We also have a moving average coming in here at 975. I'm going to mark that down as well, just in case we can be explosive and get towards some of these levels. And let's see, the volume is here now, 2.3. It is not a low flow stock. I believe this is sitting at was it 50 or 80? 89 million shares flow. So, this thing is not going to drop on you, $2-3. That's not going to happen on a stock that's 89 million, right? Towards the bottom, guys, you pretty much cover highs and lows from the last 2 trading days are taking care of you there. So pretty good stuff right now. Hopefully, if this news can break out nicely, that could be fun to watch today. Here's Mara, high of the pre-market at the moment. It is 58.25. So that's great, 58.25. Let's scroll down here. Is this all-time highs for Mara? It might be 52-week at least. Yeah, I think it's all-time highs. I'm not gonna go further than that, but 58.25. So again, this thing has been just breaking out beautifully, guys. Look at the last couple of days, and if you look at some of these intraday plays, they've been very, very clean. Even yesterday, although I didn't watch it yesterday, we looked back and it looks very, very clean. Towards the bottom, low of the pre-market 55.01, and then highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Your all-time high right now sitting at 58.25. E-bond right now, wow. What's the news on an E-bond this morning? Do we have anything? I mean, they're just getting slammed. Low of the pre-market, I'm not going to mark down just now because it keeps leaking. We're going to mark down $4.86. So we'll put that on there. That seems to be a great, great level of support if it can hold it on the way down here. And then towards the bottom of that, we have another level of support right on here, 388. So we'll see. Right now, it's struggling with this level right on here. Price action at 547. We'll mark it down. Looks like the low of the day is going to be a little bit lower than that. But you can tell this is level you want to have. You have support and resistance happening right at this level, that 547. So keep that on there either way, regardless of what the low of the pre-market is going to be in a second here. Towards the top, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, although this thing looks like it doesn't want to come back up there and play around with those levels the way it's dropping right now. We'll keep a close eye on it. Almost 4 million shares traded right now, so pretty nice. Here is Neo. Neo towards the top, plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, previous day close. Great level on that previous day close day. You can see that level, the touches of resistance and support. Towards the bottom, we have a level at 37.35. You want to mark that down. Great area of support and resistance. And then the bottom of this consolidation here, right? We saw this a couple of weeks back, 34.88. Great area here, some back and forth action. If we were to break down this from this 37.35. Right now, we're playing around with the low of yesterday. So we're kind of holding on to that. To the T, that is your low of today as well. Let's see if that's going to hold there. Towards the top, I'm just going to mark down the high of the pre-market, 39.91. The rest is taken care of you by the highs from the last 2 trading days. Here's Apple, guys. So Apple just kind of moving sideways a bit, but they got a bit of a volume here. 1 million shares traded. The last yesterday and the day before here, this has been kind of just grinding higher, as you can see. Yesterday was a very, very good day, very good open for them, and they held that pop that they initially got at the open. 126.71 high of the pre-market. Above that, we were talking about this 127.45, which is the moving average here on the 50-day moving average, and we also have a couple of days here are flirting with that level as well. So let's see what happens there. Towards the bottom, previous day close, the high from yesterday, and I'm going to mark down the pre-market low this morning at 120.496. Yeah, below that, guys, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days got you covered. I don't think you need to add any more on this one. So let's see. Again, just chopping around right now, but with some good volume. Let's see if we can get a breakout one way or the other on Apple. So Snap doesn't have great volume yet, but it looks like it's starting to move a little bit here. We do have the high of the pre-market at 55.80. We are up 3% at the moment. Their daily could be interesting if they can keep this momentum going, break out of this area of just the choppiness in here, right? You have that pre-market high at 55.79. Let's see if we can do that. Now, this daily is not great, but you do have some pretty good levels, like right on here. You have a 55.75. You can see how many touches we have on here, how many days are opening and closing right around that target, so that's good. Then above that, here it gets messy, right? You see how you have one beautiful day, and then you got the chop, and then another pop, and then you got the chop. So it's not great. Here it starts getting a little bit better. You can see the candles connecting a little bit cleaner, but it's not the best daily. We'll do the best to find this level here. 60 could be a good one. 60, 57. You got some areas of resistance happening here. Some possible support, more support here. So that's the best I think we can do on Snap right now. So let's see. Let's see if we break out of here and we start getting the volume already 400,000. So hopefully that continues to climb there. All right, so secondary, I think that's what we have, right? Secondary list, we got Viacom, we know it's in play. Microsoft has put in 3 amazing green days here. Let's see if we can do it again today. CAN could be a hit or miss. We had a couple of really good days on it. I have it here. They're down 3.7 right now, 344,000. Pre-market is okay. We'll see what happens. BP could trade actually very clean because they they got a catalyst behind it. They got their own catalyst, not just general oil stuff. So we'll see how that trades. We normally don't keep foreign stocks on our list, but today could be the difference maker for this one. PSAC, this one is it's on here. It's a SPAC. It could be good. Who knows? PHUN. This one is on fire, guys. Volume is definitely in here. It is not a low flow stock, but it is a lower price. So just be careful on the number of shares you're going to take on this one. INTC, the daily looks great, guys. The only reason we have it here for a possible breakout, but the volume and everything else is not there. Facebook hitting all-time highs, so that could be interesting. Volume is not here right now, but we know they can pick up quickly. And we also have NVIDIA, also same beautiful daily here for a possible breakout out of this great area of resistance, guys. Look how many times we have touched this. The last time we broke out of this, look at that nice pop we got. Beautiful pop all the way from 559 up to 577. Not saying it's going to happen now, but that you could tell that this area of resistance here is significant for NVIDIA if we can get over that hump there. So, all right, guys, that is what we have. Let's take a look at our moderators lineup this morning. Let's bring this in. All right, see what we got going on here. Who's watching what? Let's bring this all the way over here, and I will expand this a little bit more. Boom, there it is. Okay, perfect. So Thor, he's watching CCL, NCLH, NEO, Viacom, and Microsoft for a possible second play there on a big day yesterday. Dima, she is watching Mara, Snap, NCLH, and Apple. Mike likes Facebook and Microsoft for the break of high, both again sitting pretty nice. I think they're both all-time highs, right? And Microsoft as well, both doing really good. John is looking at Facebook and NVIDIA. Tiffany is looking at NEO, Mara. Secondary list Viacom, Snap, and NCLH, and Thor is adding Snapchat as well to his list. So, all right, pretty good stuff today, guys. What else? What else do we have? I think we're missing a few more moderators on there putting their list together, but for right now, I think we have a pretty good list. Just to recap, RMO again, only have it here for it actually should be a possible, really. If I look at it closely, it should really be a possible. I can always just keep a close eye on and see if it gets going, but that's a possible. It's not a main one. We got Mara. Mara looks very good, like the pre-market action, very strong, guys, hitting all-time highs, I believe now. EBON just continues. Wow, look at the low of the pre-market, 538. Man, oh man, this is going to be interesting today on this one. Neo is getting a little bit of a bounce from the low from yesterday, so that's good. Let's see if they can go green. That could be interesting. Apple just going sideways here, but they got good volume, and then we have Snap that can hopefully get going here as well. So I think we have a pretty good list, guys, to start this this day. So yeah, that's all we have, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I know we have a couple of minutes, unless anybody has any questions or anything else you want us to look at. We have about 4 minutes. Look at the volume on EBON. Yeah, EBON is it's insane. 5 million right now. It looks like it's going to go back down and test that 531 again. So you got a little bit of relief right here, but not for long. Looks like this thing is just getting hammered, guys. So we'll see. On short selling restriction right now. You do have inventory to short with Interactive Brokers, so that's good. But again, just be careful, okay? Don't force something here. And on these type of trades, for people that like to do the reversals, make sure that all your checks are being hit when you try to do that reversal, because sometimes it shows like it's doing a double bottom, but it doesn't look as clean. just be careful with that because things can continue to drop and keep going here, no matter about these levels. So obviously, this thing is really weak today. Had a rough day yesterday, and today setting up already down 15.8, 15%, setting up for another really bad day here. Months we did look at MUDS. Yeah, we did look at this one. And again, it's just I don't like the way this is setting up here. I don't like the pre-market action. They got an insane volume, 7.4, but it's not much I'm liking here this morning on this one. So I'm gonna keep that one off for now. GameStop squeeze next week, maybe, maybe the GameStop. Yeah, absolutely. This is an entertainment stock is definitely insane and fun to watch. Eamon's coming in with his list. He's doing Workhorse, Riot, Pins, secondary list Neo, CGC, and INTC on his list today. Let's take a look at Baba. That's being called out by the chat room as well. Baba's been beat up pretty good. It's been pretty beat up here. So they're holding this level of support on the daily. They've been here before in the past and broke out nicely. So yeah, I think this could be a good one. I don't like intraday trading, Baba. It's not my style, but if you do, this could be a good one to watch. Not saying that's going to happen today, but man, they're definitely what it seems to be a little bit oversold here, sitting on support at 225. So interesting stuff there. So all right, guys. Questions. I believe you started. Oh, yeah, that's a great question, but we won't have time to answer in a minute, Dash. So I'll definitely get back to you on that. Brian coming in with his list: Snap, Ebon, Plug, Baba, CJ, and Peter. No IPOs for today so far this morning. So, all right, thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining us over on YouTube. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Norman, and Jared really appreciate it. It does mean a lot to us. So just take 2 seconds, hit that thumbs up, or 1 second, depending how fast you are. And we really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button as well. If it's your first time here, welcome. We are going to continue in our chat room with our members here to continue building our watches. Brian and Andrew are coming up next, talking about their list and what they like this morning. And we will see you tomorrow, guys, at 8 a.m. for Engineering the Markets with Jared. And then after that, with Norm and I for the pre-market show. Also tonight, success webinar with Jacoby from Benzinga. He's going to talk about, again, he's the director of over there. And Benzinga, by the way, is a news company. They provide news for trading platforms for different sources. Our chat room alone has a Benzinga logo. You can click on it. You can get news directly into our chat room for those that don't know. He's going to be doing a presentation for us tonight on what news matter and what doesn't. So cannot wait to hear about that from somebody that's living and breathing the news every single day in his company. So looking forward to that. Take care, guys.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.